wonderful. Okay, let's move to item 4 on the public session agenda on the lobbyist penalty waivers. Executive Director Myers.
Thank you. The 4 through 8 are on the consent.
Sorry, Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez. A comment?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just want to make sure because I don't want to get sideways with Susan to because I do have a number of potential conflicts of interest, including one actual conflict of interest regarding to the open agenda, and so I just want to make sure if we're tackling those one by one. There's 3 in the stipulated final orders consent calendar, so I just want to make sure that I'm addressing those appropriately at the right time, and I can wait until we get to that, but I just I wanted to raise that. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez. So you've already disclosed. You had said item number 4. No, that was on the consent calendar.
Yeah.
On the exec section.
You can declare those at the time, right?
You can declare them when we get to those particular items. And so we're starting with just the penalty waiver consent calendar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for being diligent, Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez. We appreciate that. So we are going to start with the lobbyist penalty waivers. Executive Director Myers, please proceed.
These first items 4 through 8 are just on the consent calendar, and they would all get letters of ed because for all of them, it is a first-time violation. And our standard practice is to waive the penalty.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair, please, can we have a motion for the consent calendar items 4 through 8 on the public session agenda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the commission approve the filing penalty waivers as presented on the consent calendar, and these are items 4 through 8 on the public session agenda.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call.
Does Commissioner Resendez, do you have anything to?
No.
I didn't know.
No, not on this consent.
Okay, sorry, my mistake.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners have discussion on the consent calendar? Okay, Commissioner Howell.
Are we voting on the penalty waivers?
On the consent calendar, the items 4 through 8 on the public session agenda?
Okay, I just have a question about the letters. The letters, I'm seeing the same letters in each meeting packet. Is that correct?
The letters that are not in the meeting packet, the letters requesting the waivers are in the meeting packet.
Okay.
So they usually send in by email explaining why they messed up and asking for the penalty to be waived.
Yeah, because we have someone that's on maternity leave, but we had the same letter last meeting. Am I correct on that?
It was, I'm not aware of it being the same person.
I think maybe these got carried over from the last.
You are,
Yeah.
that's what happened. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
So in last month's meeting book for the December 12th meeting, yes, these were on the consent agenda, but because of the length of the meeting last month, Chair Fiscom tabled these, so we did not vote on them last month. We just brought them forward to this meeting.
Okay. Because we have, let's see, Deneen O'Rourke Crow, I believe.
Yes, none of them got voted on last month. We just moved them all to this month.
And she states that she's on maternity leave after having the birth of her first baby. I am curious.
We are not discussing that
We're not
item yet. We are
Okay.
just on the consent calendar, items 4 through 8. So if you want to discuss the item, let's wait till we get to that item agenda.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem, Commissioner. So just the consent calendar items 4 through 8. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or discussion? Is your hand still up, Commissioner Halt? Okay. Okay, hearing none. Oh, okay, I have a hand up on a phone number. Phone, is that Commissioner Burke?
Commissioner Burke.
Okay, Commissioner Burke, please proceed. And you're on mute. Okay,
He's not on mute now.
Commissioner Burke? Your hand is down.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. I wanted to say I was disconnected when we left executive session, so I was just going through the process to re-enter the conference and be able to speak. Thank you.
okay, sorry about that, Commissioner Burke. Glad you're with us again. Okay, Vice Chair, do you have a motion for items 4 through 8 on the consent
I think I
calendar?
already made it.
You already made the motion. Okay, we have a motion pending for the consent calendar items 4 through 8. You've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Helt,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Okay, lobbyist penalty reductions. Item 9, Deneen Crow, Executive Director, please.
So for item number 9, this lobbyist no prior violations. Then in 2024 for Q4 incurred a $20 penalty. And then in 2025 for Q3 incurred another penalty of $140. The recommendation would be for the first penalty to waive the penalty and give a letter of education, and for the second penalty to reduce the penalty from $140 to just $20.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, I know Commissioner Halt, you had a question regarding this agenda item. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Do we have a policy for people, for lobbyists that are on leave? So on paid family medical leave, on maternity leave, that they don't have to file during those times? Or how do we handle that?
We have no authority to say they don't have to file. The filing dates and deadlines are set by statute. What we tell people is it is each individual filer, the lobbyist, the client, even SEI filers, it is their individual responsibility to meet the requirements of the statute. And what is most important is make sure that they keep their email, because they can change their email, that they keep their information active in the system so that they will get those emails. So if a lobbyist is going to be off on leave, they should arrange for the emails to be forwarded or for someone to be checking that account so that they get all of those notices.
I have a further question, Executive Director. If they are on leave, are they considered an active lobbyist that must file?
They are considered an active lobbyist until they terminate. And even if they terminate, they still have to file for whatever quarter they're in.
Thank you. Good question, Commissioner Halt. Any other questions regarding public session agenda item 9? Commissioner Halt, please.
I do not believe that people during Family Leave Act should be having obligations to their work to be fulfilled. I think that that is a time that they are to take to themselves. And I do not think we should fine Ms. Crow.
Thank you, Commissioner. It sounds like that's an issue for the legislature and not one that we can disregard her statutory obligations, but maybe that's something we could consider for a legislative change moving forward. I agree with you that that seems slightly unfair. So maybe something that we could discuss for a future legislative change that lobby filings maybe shouldn't have to happen while people are on protected leave, and something we could consider for.
Well, to address that, I mean, if you want to propose some change to the requirement to file, that's one thing. The commission has discretion as to whether it wants to reduce the penalty. So the commission could, for example, say that it would like to issue a letter of education for both penalties or both filing penalties rather than just for the first and, the $20 on the second. That is up to the commission.
I would recommend that we issue letters of recommendation and acknowledge that we have someone on Family Leave Act and this is a work obligation and that they are not working due to the fact that they are on maternity leave. Thank you.
Commissioners, other thoughts? Anyone agree with Commissioner Heltz?
I absolutely agree with Commissioner Helt. The problem that we're going to have to navigate as a commission is I think rarely will family leave line up with a quarter. So we're going to have to, I mean, it's something we can navigate. We have the discretion to do it, but I think it's, if you go on family leave halfway through the quarter, I don't know that we can excuse the reporting requirements from the first half. So I'm willing to go with a letter of education on both of these for this case, but I think it's something that's going to require us to take a little bit deeper dive into if we get to the legislative fix.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez, please.
I agree with Commissioner Halt and what Commissioner Thompson said, and I agree that it's going to take some maneuvering, but if people can figure out how to have a child and raise a child during these troubling times, I'm sure we can figure out a way to also accommodate that. Thank you.
Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item number 9, I move Deneen Crow, I move that we issue a letter of education for both violations.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
My apologies. Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner McCulley,
Aye.
Commissioner Helt,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Okay, agenda item 10, Executive Director, please.
This lobbyist had no prior violations. She incurred a 1-day late filing of $10 for Q2 and 25 and 13 days late for Q3, so $130. The explanation is that she had left the employer and therefore didn't get the emails. Again, it is the lobbyist's duties to keep their information in the system up to date. So the recommendation is a letter of ed for the first violation and reducing the penalty for the second to $20.
Thank you for that report. Commissioners, any questions for Executive Director Myers? Okay, hearing none. Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item number 10, I move the commission approve the recommended filing penalty reduction in this matter.
Okay, Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Okay, lobbyist client penalty reductions, beginning with agenda item 11, Eugene Emeralds.
Thank you, Chair. This lobbyist client had 4 prior violations, had never asked for any waiver or reduction. They simply paid those as they came up. Then the current penalties are Q2 of 25 and Q3 of 25. The explanation is the general manager, there had been a transition and the new person didn't understand, apparently. So the recommendation is for Q2 of 25, to have no reduction because it's basically a $30 penalty, which is using our chart of penalty reductions is the minimum for a 5th violation. And for Q3 of 25 to reduce it from $450 to $100.
Okay, Commissioners, you've heard the report. Any questions on agenda item 11? Seeing and hearing none, Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I would just like to say that minor league baseball team names are like the greatest thing ever. I'm not a baseball fan, but they're awesome. So with that, Commissioner Halt has her.
Commissioner Halt, please.
Thank you, Chair. This person says they're not even there. They're in California. So I'm confused as to how they would be registering.
So the person who responded, they are not getting the penalty. The lobbyist client employer is the one getting the penalty. The Eugene Emeralds, they're still here.
Got it.
It's just the problem was caused by the fact that they had transitioned general managers. So the one who had previously done this wasn't there. The new person didn't follow the process.
Thank you.
Commissioner Halt, does that satisfy your question?
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions from commissioners? Okay, seeing here and hearing none, Vice Chair, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 11, I move the commission approve the recommended filing penalty reduction in this matter.
Okay, for the motion, Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Okay, agenda item 12, Mattress Recycling Council.
Yes, so MRC had no prior violations. The current penalties are 1 day, $10 for Q3 of 22, and then $150 for Q3. The recommendation is a letter of education for the first and reducing it to $20 for the second. And again, their explanation, which is one we hear a lot, is, employee turnover and not understanding what the filing duties are.
Thank you for that report. Commissioners, any questions for Executive Director Myers? Seeing and hearing none, Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 12, I move the commission approve the recommended filing penalty reduction in this matter.
Okay, Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Okay, agenda item 13, foster homes of healing.
So this client employer has a late filing penalty of $1,850 for Q3 of 25. This is their 11th violation. For their first 2 violations, they wrote in to request waiver and mitigation. So back in Q2 of 18, they received a letter of education. In Q2 of 19, they had their filing penalties reduced. For the 8 subsequent violations, they simply paid the penalties. The explanation is that they had multiple changing of the guards. My recommendation is this is their 11th penalty, and I do not recommend any reduction.
And so it does not say on the agenda the amount, but looking at the materials, it looks like that penalty is $1,850, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Any questions? Commissioner Halt, please.
Thank you, Chair. It says this client will no longer be active. Does that mean the group will no longer be active?
They are terminating their registration.
It feels punitive to me to put an $1,850 fine on a client that is no longer going to exist. And it sounds to me like it is for foster homes, which I think is a really noble cause. I would hate to take money out of any foster care for a client that is no longer going to be able to be a problem. I'm wondering if we could lower it more, or how others feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Halt. I have thoughts, but I'll open it up for other commissioners first. Vice Chair.
I'm tempted to go with the recommendation. I mean, this is the 11th penalty, and I don't feel like we want to go down. Well, I understand Commissioner Halt's thing about the nobleness of the client. I don't think we want to get into a situation where we're adjusting penalties based on what the client does. So I get it. It's a lot of money, but it's also the 11th time. And at some point we have to draw a line in the sand and say, this has to stop.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Go ahead, Commissioner Jancy.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, Commissioner Thompson pretty much summed up the comments I was going to make. I guess I'd only add, I don't think that we want to create an incentive for sort of gamesmanship with folks ignoring the rules and then when they're being enforced saying, oh, well, now we're not going to register any longer. I think if folks are going to be registered, they need to comply during that time period. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Jancy. I will jump in here and say that I agree with Vice Chair Thompson and Commissioner Jancy on this. I don't think that we can enforce rules differently based on the type of business that is coming before us. no matter how wonderful a cause they are, we can't be treating them differently than others. And I just want to second Vice Chair's comments on the fact that this is not the first, second, third, or even fourth. This is the 11th violation. So I'm inclined to stick with the recommendation. And I don't think it's particularly relevant that they're not going to be lobbying any further. I think it's based on their past conduct. So that's where I would lean. Do we have any further comments or discussions before we hear a motion? Okay. Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 13, I move the commission approve the recommended filing penalty as the penalty in this matter.
Thank you, Commissioners. You've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner McCully,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Nope.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-1.
I just want to pause. I know we don't have a lot more on our agenda, but how are people feeling? I think I could probably use a short bio break.
Amen.
Okay, all right, let's do a 5-minute bio break and we'll pause and come back. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, baby. My beautiful bear. Yeah. Have we restarted yet? This is Commissioner Burke.
We're waiting.
Commissioners, thank you for your patience. We are waiting on Executive Director Susan Myers and our legal counsel, Dan Gilbert. So we are on a pause. I apologize for the delay.
Okay,
I'm glad you
That's
guys took the
great.
time to
Yeah.
make sure we were
okay.
in the right.
I don't. We are. Okay,
You guys, yeah.
so apologies to the commissioners for the long delay. We were trying to figure out some of the technical problems earlier and the meeting notice, et cetera. So we have figured that out and should be good to go.
Okay, we are resuming the public session at this time. We are starting with the stipulated final orders, the consent calendar at numbers 14 through 22. And Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez, do you have a conflict to declare?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I have potential conflict of interest related to items numbers 14 through 16. But I, due to the fact that my firm represents the city of Salem, even though I don't personally do work for them, and at this time, I don't believe I need to request that any of those items be removed from the consent calendar, given that I have declared this potential conflict of interest. Director
Okay.
Myers, let me know if I'm incorrect
You are
in
right.
that. I'm learning, getting smarter.
Okay, Executive Director Myers, please.
I don't need to, they're all
On the consent calendar, okay.
final orders for letters of education.
Okay, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the commission approve the proposed stipulated final orders presented on the consent calendar as the final orders in these cases, and the chairperson be authorized to sign them as such.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez is abstaining. Commissioner Chancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner McCully,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0 with one abstention.
Okay, moving on to stipulated final orders. We have one agenda item 23, Mark Thalaker. Investigator Josh Sullivan will now give the report. Wait.
Sorry, Chair, if I may. I
Oh,
have
yep,
to,
absolutely,
declare-
please.
I have to
Please.
declare a potential conflict of interest as to this one. As item number 23 as well, because my firm represents Mr. Mark Thalaker in this matter. But although I am not personally involved in that representation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Investigator Sullivan, please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Chair Payne and Commission. This is Investigator Josh Sullivan for the record. I'm presenting agenda item number 23. This is a stipulated final order for Mark Thalacker, board member and prior district manager for the Three Sisters Irrigation District, or TSID. The negotiated stipulated final order states that Mark Thalacker engaged in prohibited uses of office and was met with conflicts of interest when he used his official position with TSID to provide a business with which he is associated, CRA USA LLC, opportunities for financial benefit. The stipulated final order states that on several occasions, Mark Thalacker arranged for CRA USA to provide materials, equipment, and labor for TSID, and he arranged for TSID employees to complete work on behalf of CRA USA. It also states that in his position as board member, he participated in the approval of TSID's payments to CRA USA. Mark Thalacker did not disclose his conflicts of interest, nor did he refrain from participating in his official capacity. The recommendation is to approve this stipulated final order. Per the stipulated final order, Mark Thalacker has agreed to pay a $4,000 civil penalty in order to settle the matter.
Thank you, Investigator Sullivan. Commissioners, you've heard the report. Any questions for Investigator Sullivan? Seeing and hearing none. Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. For case number 25-212EJS, I move that the commission approve the proposed stipulated final order as the final order in this matter, and the chairperson be authorized to sign it as such.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner McCully,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez is abstaining. Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0 with 1 abstention.
Now moving forward to reports of investigation. Agenda item 24, Ashwak Omar. Investigator Pacheco, please.
Oh,
Chair.
sorry, Chair.
I just looked up.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, because
Please,
I know we're taking
Commissioner.
these one by one. I would also, Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez, I would like to declare a potential conflict of interest as to item number 24, an open agenda, because my firm represents the entity where the individual works generally, although I'm not personally involved in the representation of this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez. Investigator Pacheco, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioners. This is Investigator Dana Pacheco for the record. Agenda item 24 in your meeting books is an investigation report for Ashwa Omar, former operations and policy analyst for the Oregon Health Authority. The complaint in this matter alleged that Ms. Omar may have used her position and been met with conflicts of interest when taking actions and making recommendations to award an OHA grant to Sahel Relief Organization, a nonprofit entity owned by Shima Omar. In this case, during the preliminary review, it appeared that Ashwa and Shima were either relatives or household members. Based on the information gathered during the investigation, Commission staff confirmed that Shima and Ashwa are not in fact relatives, as defined in ORS Chapter 244. Commission staff also confirmed that Shima and Ashwa are not household members, nor that Sahel Relief was a business with which Ashwa was associated. Lastly, there was no evidence to determine that Ashwa used her official position or financial gain or was met with a conflict of interest. Consequently, there is not a preponderance of evidence in this case to establish that Ashwa Omar violated ORS 244.040 sub 1 and ORS 244.120 sub 1 sub C. The recommendation is that this case be dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Investigator Pacheco. Commissioners, any comments, discussion, questions for the investigator? I just want to say that I thought this report was excellent and it had some difficult cultural issues. And I thought the report was complex and really recognize the differences in how families are recognized in different cultures. And I just wanted to recognize that it was an excellent report, Investigator Pacheco. Any other comments, discussion? Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item number 24, I move the commission dismiss the complaint against Ashwa Omar.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler.
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy.
Aye.
Commissioner Burke.
Aye.
Commissioner McCully.
Aye.
Commissioner Helt.
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez is abstaining. Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0 with 1 abstention.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 25, Mike Tranquilla, City of Johnson City, Investigator, Executive Director Myers, please, acting as investigator on this issue.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. Yes, I took this over from a prior investigator. Mike Tranquilla is a counselor for the City of Johnson City. Back in November, the commission heard the preliminary review reports in the group against all 5 counselors and moved them to investigation. At last month's meeting, the commission approved stipulated final orders for the other 4. As soon as they got moved to investigation, I was contacted by Mr. Tranquilla, who explained to me that he had not been on the board, on the council, until the meeting when they actually took the vote. So he had not been involved. He was not a counselor during the relevant period when these serial communications were taking place. Obviously, I should have discovered that during preliminary review, but it did not get discovered. I confirmed it. Therefore, I recommend that the complaint against him be dismissed.
Thank you, Executive Director Myers. Any questions for the Executive Director? Discussion, thoughts? Seeing and hearing none. Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item number 25, I move the commission dismiss the complaint against Mike Tranquilla.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mettler.
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez.
Aye.
Commissioner McCully.
Aye.
Commissioner Helt.
Aye.
Commissioner Burke.
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to advisory opinions. Number 26, Executive Director.
I will have Josh Sullivan present it. Sorry, it doesn't indicate as he has drafted this opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Payne and Commission. This is Investigator Josh Sullivan for the record. I'm presenting agenda item number 26. The Commission advisory opinion. This Commission advisory opinion was requested by Megan Thornton from the City of Beaverton's City Attorney's Office. The City of Beaverton has recently transitioned to a new method of setting and adopting fees charged by various departments. Previously, the city had individual fee schedules for the various departments, but in 2025, it developed a comprehensive fee schedule, which incorporates and implements the fees for all departments. The City Council intends to review and update the comprehensive fee schedule annually. However, several Beaverton City councilors are business owners subject to the business license fees included. Megan Thornton requested a class exception determination from the commission. The class exception in ORS 244020 sub 13 sub B provides that there's no conflict of interest in a financial benefit or detriment if a financial benefit or detriment arises out of any action taken by the public official, which would affect to the same degree a class consisting of all inhabitants of the state, or a smaller class consisting of an industry, occupation, or other group, including one in which the public official or their relative or a business with which they're associated is a member or is engaged. The commission may make a determination of whether a class exists on a case-by-case basis. The information provided indicates that the following 4 categories of business license fees are included in the comprehensive fee schedule. 1, a $100 fee for employee-based businesses with 4 or fewer employees. 2, a $100 fee for rental-based businesses with 40 or rental units or fewer. 3, employee-based businesses with over 44 employees. They pay $100 plus $12 for each additional employee. And then for rental-based businesses with over 40 units, and they pay $100 plus $2 additional dollars for each additional rental unit. The information provided indicates that the number of businesses paying the annual business license fees in each of these categories is sufficiently large to form a distinct class. Additionally, the businesses in each of these categories are all affected to the same degree as all other members of the identified class. Therefore, it appears that the class exception in ORS 24402013B applies, and the city councilors subject to the business license fees would not be met with a conflict of interest in voting to approve or decline to approve these business license fees, nor would they be required to dispose of a conflict of interest related to the business license fees. The analysis in this opinion focuses only on the business license fee portion of the city's comprehensive fee schedule, and it does not draw any conclusions about other conflicts of interest that may exist or whether another class exception may apply. The recommendation is to approve this commission advisory opinion.
Thank you, Investigator Sullivan. Commissioners, now is the time for questions of the investigator or comments regarding the advisory opinion. Commissioner Halt.
Thank you, Chair. Do they have to declare a potential conflict of interest when they move forward?
So I'll address this. If the commission makes a determination that the class exception applies, it means they do not have a conflict of interest. Actual potential doesn't matter. If the class exception applies, there is no conflict and they don't have to declare anything.
Thank you, Commissioner Halt. Good question. Any other questions, comments from commissioners? So just hearkening back to the class exception, we as a commission must be the ones that decide whether a class exception exists. So this is one way that bodies can ask for a determination for a class exception as an advisory opinion, rather than waiting for a complaint to be filed. This is a good way for an entity to have this determination made.
I would also add, this is a really good, very sort of clean example for the class exception. And to clarify, class exception kind of requires, it's a 2-step. Is there a class, and are all members of the class going to be affected to the same degree or proportionately? So this situation, I mean, I think they knew that there was a class, but they wanted to cover their bases, and that's why they asked for the opinion.
Commissioner Halt, is your hand still up? Oh. Not seeing any other commissioners having questions. Vice Chair, are you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 26, I move the commission approve the commission advisory opinion as presented and the chairperson be authorized to sign it as such.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
So commissioners, agenda item 27 is staff advice. There's no report on that. It's there for your information. Always helpful to review those staff advice letters because it's educational for us as well. But we'll move on to agenda item 28, the trainers, or do we want to do the
The addendum.
addendum first?
27.
Okay, let's do the addendum items first. 27. Do we want to do them all together?
Yes.
Okay, we'll
We will
do,
have to vote separately, but.
okay, so we'll
And the
get,
attorney is online, Chair.
okay,
Ben Hale.
Ben Hale, okay. Good morning, Ben, Mr. Hale, nice to see you. We've met before. My name's Shanoa Payne. I'm the current chair of the Oregon Government Ethics Commission. So what will happen today is we'll get a report from staff on the agenda items all together. We'll have questions from commissioners, and then we'll give you an opportunity to speak, which will limit to about 3 minutes. And then we'll give commissioners opportunity to ask you questions if they have any. And then we'll move forward with a decision on this matter. Okay? So
Yes, that sounds fine.
okay.
I'm really just here to answer questions.
Okay, wonderful, great. And who is reporting? Okay, Executive Director, please proceed.
So these items 27A through E are applications to establish legal expense trust funds. And those statutes are in chapter 244. So first, a legal expense trust fund can be established if the public official incurs or reasonably expects to incur legal expenses for certain identified civil, criminal, or other legal proceedings or investigations that relate to or arise from the scope or course or scope of their official duties. And of the list of types of legal proceedings and investigations is subsection 2E, defending the public official in a proceeding or investigation brought or maintained by a public body as defined in ORS 174.109, and that would include a proceeding or investigation brought by the commission as a public body. So the case at issue is the prior case that was brought is currently under investigation against members of the Portland City Council. It was brought by the Ethics Commission, and so it qualifies as a proceeding for which they could establish a legal expense trust fund. The requirements, are that they provide a copy of an executed trust agreement, a sworn affidavit signed by the public official, and a sworn affidavit signed by the trustee. In this case, all of the public officials who submitted the application have indicated they will serve as their own trustees. That is permitted under the statute. The affidavits include that they have read and understand all of these statutes. They consent to administer the fund in compliance. Mr. Hale and his law firm what they can collect and how they can use the funds. The statutes provide that a legal expense trust fund that gets established can be used to pay for expenses that have previously incurred. So basically, it operates retroactively. It also provides that they can accept pro bono legal services as a contribution, as an in-kind contribution to the legal expense trust fund. The benefits of this are that it is all transparent. The trust fund, once approved, all of that will be, visible. They have to file quarterly reports showing the contributions and expenditures. And in terms of the pro bono legal services, they would have to show the fair market value that those services that were provided would equal. So in their applications, and Mr. Hale can clarify this to some extent, I had conversations with him about it, that his firm is providing the pro bono legal services to them. At this point, my understanding is they are not collecting additional funds into the legal expense trust fund, but if they do, it would be for other purposes, like if he chose to no longer provide pro bono services and they needed to hire other counsel. Regardless, once anything is in the trust fund, it can only be used in accordance with the trust agreement and what the statute permits. So at the end, if there are any funds in it that have not been used, they get redistributed to the donors. It appears from my review of the documents that they meet the statutory requirements for the establishment of a legal expense trust fund.
Thank you, Executive Director Myers. Now is the time for commissioners to ask any questions of Executive Director Myers regarding the addendum report, items 27A through 27E. Any questions? Okay, Mr. Hale, now is your time to make a statement, and we're going to limit your time to 3 minutes. So please keep it brief.
Thank you. I'll be brief. We are submitting these in the interest of total transparency, and we have submitted them for recent past representation. I'm here on behalf of the 5 public officials who were here last month. You may recall that they spoke about an investigation by this commission into a retreat that they attended. And so ever since the first of them contacted me in early December about this investigation, I've been keeping careful track of my time with the intention of reporting it this way. And I've advised them that this was the most open and transparent way to do it. I may not always represent them. They're certainly free to go with someone else, but we decided to include in the trust very specifically that they would not raise any money to pay me or my organization. That as far as my organization, the Oregon Justice Resource Center, is concerned, this is purely to create a mechanism to report my pro bono time for them. Other than that, I'm here for questions. So I'll conclude there.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Hale? I don't see any questions. Commissioners, any just comments, discussion on this matter before we move to a vote? Okay, I'm seeing none. Vice Chair, are you prepared we have we have to hear these individually.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 27A, I move the commission determine that the application presented meets the requirements of ORS 244-205 and to ORS 244-221, and that Candace Avalos be authorized to establish a legal expense trust fund.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, you've heard the motion on item 27A. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Vice Chair, please, on 27B.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 27B, I move the commission determine the application presented meets the requirements of ORS 244-205 to ORS 244-221, and that Mitch Green be authorized to establish a legal expense trust fund.
Hey, Commissioners, you've heard the motion on agenda item 27B. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Vice Chair, item 27C, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 27C, I move the commission determine that the application presented meets the requirements of ORS 244-205 to ORS 244-221, and that Tiffany Koyama Lane be authorized to establish a legal expense trust fund.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion on agenda item 27C. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Agenda item 27D, Vice Chair, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 27D, I move the commission determine that the application presented meets the requirements of ORS 244-205 to ORS 244-221, and that Angelita Murillo be authorized to establish a legal expense trust fund.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion on agenda item 27D. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Agenda item 27E, Vice Chair, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For agenda item 27E, I move the commission determine that the application presented meets the requirements of ORS 244-205 to ORS 244-221, and that Samir Kanal be authorized to establish a legal expense trust fund.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion on agenda item 27E. Administrator, please call the roll.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Commissioner Jancy,
Aye.
Commissioner Burke,
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Halt,
Aye.
Commissioner Resendez Gutierrez,
Aye.
Chair Payne.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-0.
Mr. Hill, you've heard all the motions have passed. Staff will be in touch about next. Thank you for appearing with us today. Okay, we are now moving on to agenda item 28, trainers report.
Good morning, Chair Payne.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Trainer Ruth Sylvester for the record. As you can see from the materials that are in your book, the most recent edition of our Ethics Matters newsletter came out last month, and it focuses on lobbying issues and some updates for the end of the year, including some farewell thoughts from Commissioner Fiskun. Now, our curriculum and training coordinator, Stephanie Hefner, attended the Council on Government Ethics Laws annual conference in Atlanta as well in December. And Stephanie presented there at a panel for 10 tips to improve and revamp your training program. So we're super excited that she presented there. And we are in the process of hiring a new person to join our training team. And that position closed on December 28th, 2025.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners, for regarding our training report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Executive Director Myers, please.
Lost track of where I was. Okay, sorry.
It's your report. It's your report. It's your moment to shine.
I just want to point out, it is 11:18.
It's still been more than an hour. It's good if she did. It's still been more than an hour.
So thank you. So 2025 is over. It was a year. I quickly just ran a few numbers. So just to let you know, in 2025, from January 1st to December 31st, we received 768 complaints. 8 of them were duplicates and 348 were correspondence, which is our term for not in our jurisdiction or not alleging something. So that means that we actually processed and opened 412 cases, which is definitely a record, and a record for a small agency with a small investigative staff. So I really do want to give credit to Casey and the investigators. You'll note in these last few months, I've been occasionally popping up as an investigator, but you might also notice I'm assigning myself the easiest cases.
Well done. Well done.
The power.
After 2 years of not writing these reports, when I do write them, I'm like, oh, it's not as easy as I remember it. So anyway, so I did in my ED report, want to congratulate you too. I will take any suggestions that you or any of the commissioners have. There are always things that we could improve and change. As you do know, we have a current vacancy. It is the position appointed by the governor. I did speak with the governor's office last week to see and encourage them, prod them a little. Let's fill the position so that we don't have an ongoing vacancy too long. So fingers crossed they can get someone in for, I don't know that it'll be for the February meeting, but hopefully by the time of the March meeting. So separately, as Ruth indicated, we are in the process of recruiting for a trainer, and we have just completed the process of recruiting for the investigator position. He has accepted the offer. So a new investigator will be joining us at the end of the month. He is currently out of state, needs to move back in state, though he is from Oregon. Okay, legislative work group. As you all know, we have been working as part of a work group with legislators, with stakeholders, with a whole lot of people going through some fairly painful work group meetings. But the goals are to have some bills in the short session. We can't introduce bills, but various legislators, they can. And Representative Sosa, former chair of the commission years ago, has been leading this work group. It is primarily focused on public meetings law changes. And while not every change that anyone wants to propose is going to get in there, we have been trying to work through making some changes that might make sense. There will be a separate bill that addresses the food and beverage policy opinion that was very unpopular. So they are coming up with an exception for 244040 that simply resolves that problem. We don't have to deal with adopting policies. So that work group is starting to wrap up because they have to get those bills in and assigned fairly soon. So hopefully I will keep you up to date, but as the session begins, this will get assigned to House rules and then proceed. And Josh is going to join to observe sort of the legislative process and as we attend the hearings on it.
Thank you. I have a question. In regards to prior years and the amount of complaints that they've received in prior years, do you have a comparison?
So, I mean, yes, it has been ramping up. So when I first started in 2018 through about 2020, it was, and that was pre-public meetings law. We had exec session and nothing else. It had kind of been steady at sort of complaints being in the 200s and then cases being around 100 to 110. Obviously, that's long ago. Even prior to us getting the public meetings law in 23, they had been moving up. We were getting more complaints just in general. People, people like to complain. And the more that we are in the news, the more they're like, oh, here's someone I can complain to.
Mm-hmm.
And equally, as we have further developed our training program, that also leads to sort of more complaints, more requests for advice. Certainly, with the addition of the public meetings law, the number of complaints and cases has increased, partly because we do have to open separate cases on each of them. So, I mean, those numbers would be adjusted down if I simply calculate the groups, and I can do that calculation at some point. Because about a year ago when I had looked at it, we were pretty close to being 50-50 of ethics versus public meetings law, if you counted them as groups. I would say just generally, I think the public meetings law one is higher. So I would say my estimation would be sort of 60-40, that yes, we have more public meetings law cases than ethics cases, but I don't think it is significantly out of whack.
Okay. Any other questions for Executive Director Myers? Okay, any new business or other discussion before we adjourn today? Okay, well, I'm calling this meeting adjourned at 11:26 a.m. And I'm just noting for the record that as my first meeting as chair, under 2.5 hours, so
Nicely done.
adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Is this going to be your longest
job.
meeting?
Listen, good job on being a presiding officer.
Thank you. Have a good
Good
day,
weekend,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you all.
It's